Thank you. Now to the search for a group of people who attacked the state senator from Milwaukee and sent him to the hospital. Police released these new photos today of who they're calling persons of interest in that attack.
Attack happening nearly 3 weeks ago as a crowd marched through Madison, some tearing down statues and vandalizing buildings. However, no arrests have been made.
Tonight, in his first TV interview since that assault, Senator Tim Carpenter tells our Charles Benson he's still recovering from his injuries.
It's been nearly 3 weeks since Milwaukee Democrat Tim Carpenter was assaulted by protesters.
As they say in football, I had my bell rung, so I had a light concussion and, dizziness, that type of thing.
It all started when he was walking to the state capitol around midnight to do some work when he saw the protesters and pulled out his phone to take this video.
I had no idea I had walked into a hornet's nest. And then all of a sudden, two white women start coming towards me. I had 3 seconds to react.
The hornet's nest he walked into outside the state capitol turned out to be a violent night of tearing down statues and breaking windows. In the Madison police incident report, Carpenter described being, quote, sucker punched, and then fell to the ground and was battered by several people. A witness told police, quote, approximately 10 people punched and kicked the politician while he was on the ground. Video shows Carpenter later collapsing near the Capitol.
There were 8 to 10 people, probably at least 5 or 6 punches. And then when I went to the ground, then people started kicking.
But are you thinking, am I going to die here?
I didn't think the outcome because I hadn't been beaten up before.
Carpenter has been a Milwaukee state lawmaker since 1984, half of those 36 years in the Senate. He still doesn't know who attacked him that night or why. He says he tried to explain to them who he was and that he was an ally.
I asked him, why are you doing this? Tried telling him about, my background.
He opposes the violence on the streets, but agrees with peaceful protests over the deaths of George Floyd and Joel Acevedo in Milwaukee.
I'm gay. I support all civil rights. As I mentioned, David Clarenbach is a mentor, Lloyd Barbie, all of these people that were in the forefront of civil rights. And I believe that every person has a right to live without discrimination.
Just as surprising as the assault is what happened after. 2 days later, President Trump described Carpenter as, quote, a Democrat who happened to be gay, and falsely suggested he, quote, was probably out there rooting them on or something because Democrats think it's wonderful that they're destroying our country.
I wasn't rooting it. I didn't make any statements. I tried taking a picture and got beat up from that.
Carpenter also says he's being criticized on the left in a blog suggesting he's somehow a traitor.
I was against the liberators of the Black Lives Movement.
Not true, says Carpenter, who says what happened has only made him more determined to find common ground to solve big issues.
Carpenter says he suffered a couple of cuts to his face and needed surgery for his nose, but he tells me he's thankful for the hundreds of text messages and emails and letters from people who were concerned about him and wanted to show support. Charles Benson, TMJ4 News.